Awesome, Ryan, mate. Thanks so much for joining me. You just come off a milestone month for yourself. I think almost, or if not just hitting 10K, first 10K month, which is incredible. Such a great milestone for, basically starting at zero, I think, when we started. So congrats on that, man. Super proud of yourself and your business partners as well. Dude, I'd love if you could just sort of kick off, kind of just explain what your business is and how long you've been going and what you've kind of been doing and everything like that. If you could share that, man, that'd be awesome.
Sure. So I'm Ryan from Vivifica, and we sell a natural-based hangover relief supplement. So we launched in December last year. So yeah, December 2022, and we had a bit of a slower start than we probably would have expected. I think it was a bit of naivety on our end as to how hard business can be without that guidance. And yeah, so when we joined the program, we were sort of not seeing too much growth. And yeah, it really made it clear for us sort of once we did what the steps were that we need to take to sort of really drive things forward.
Yeah. What were you sort of doing beforehand? What was kind of your strategy and rollout and everything like that?
So it was definitely yeah, heavy reliance on Facebook, but not really I guess understanding what the customer wants to see or hear. Um, we were sort of just coming at it from the perspective of here's our product sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I think that's something that as time went on, we definitely shifted as to finding the right messages to bring across.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a huge thing. I know we worked, yeah, quite heavily on that early on because it's just the foundation to everything really is exactly that. You're messaging your target audience and what they want. I mean, we as business owners can get really caught up in our own business and think and know how good we are, which is completely valid too. But at the end of the day, the customers are buying it. And so what do they need? How are they describing their problems? What do they want? Their outcome that they want. That's why we buy anything, really. We want the outcome to what we're buying. So, I mean, you guys have done obviously a stellar job with that. And then obviously, poured gas on the flame, which we'll go into a second. But before jumping into the program, do you guys, I mean, what sort of made you kind of jump in? I think I'd love to kind of just hear about that. Like, and if you had any kind of reservations or if it was a pretty easy call for you, or where were you kind of at with eventually jumping into the program?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I was definitely before jumping into the program heavily relying on sort of YouTube and those things for learning, which are still good tools, but um, I think what it really became clear, sort of listening to some sort of big entrepreneurs like David Fogarty and stuff like that, that a mentor is really such an important um, aspect of your business journey, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's lots of things that people with experience can help really speed your journey up. So yeah, that was sort of when we came across you, and it definitely was an easy decision in our eyes to sort of jump on board, and we really wanted to kickstart things and get it going.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's funny that you do mention that because I think that was the trigger for myself as well when I first jumped into my program. I mean, we went like, so embarrassing to say because of obviously the programs that I run now and just want to help people, but it's like I think we went like 5 years. And I don't know how we honestly did it. It was naivety and stupidity and just hanging on for too long. Obviously, we were seeing growth with our business, but yeah, I just don't know how we would have progressed a lot faster is probably what I'd say, like so much faster than what we did. But it was the same thing as what you said. I mean, when you start to hear things from people that you look up to or successful people that you want to be like, when you start to hear things repeatedly, that's when you pay attention. That's as I say, the same thing with us when we first joined our first program. That's like why, I do daily meditation and daily reading and things, because the people that I look up to and have got massive success that I aspire to do these things. So who are we as kind of less successful to ignore that advice, and they live by it, obviously. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what have you kind of enjoyed most about the program? I know that you guys have just had your head downs. I mean, I think this is something I noticed about you guys as well, is that you've taken the advice and the trainings and the lessons and you kind of just go off, put your heads down, tails up, and do the really hard work, and then come back and you say, hey, we had this great month or something like that, which is awesome. I love that. And I love people just working in their own ways, but ultimately taking the advice, doing the work, and then getting results. It's so simplistic in the way that I see people's progress and how it goes. But I mean, yeah, what have you found the most beneficial, man, about sort of being the program?
Definitely, yeah, having the chats with yourself, and sort of understanding, what the journey for the business in this sort of e-commerce space looks like. And then yeah, the community makes such a big difference as well. Just seeing all the little wins that people have and saying, oh, this worked really well for us, and being able to then take that and implement it in our business. You don't get that really anywhere else, to be honest. Yeah, and then obviously the program itself, just to really build your knowledge and your foundation of basically everything that you need to be across with an e-commerce business. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the community, because that is definitely something that that I mean, people don't really feel like they go into a program specifically for, but then once they're in there, they definitely immerse themselves and get out of it, and just that sharing. And I think when you're in a intimate community where everyone's literally invested into, there's that transparency and really open communication, and also just genuine support where you see people and know people and on calls and stuff like that. And then you're really just genuinely happy to see them obviously succeed. And so that's definitely, a big thing that I've wanted to have for a long time. And I'm glad it's kind of growing and ticking over too. It's just a really great part of it. So man, thanks for mentioning that too. I mean, big things obviously to come for you guys. I mean, we're not done yet. 10K is an awesome milestone. Honestly, that's probably like the first big milestone that people come to. And then it's honestly like it's downhill from there, because you've got this legitimate business with genuine customers, and obviously this thing just starts to snowball. It's honestly the hardest point to get to the first 10K. And then beyond that, as I say, it kind of exponentially grows, which is, what we'll be planning obviously for you guys. With kind of the wisdom, I guess, you have now, being, this far on, you obviously, coming up to 12 months in your business, but at least being on the other side somewhat of jumping the program, of course. Like, what would you sort of say to people that were in the position that, or are in the position that you were in, before sort of jumping in the program? Do you have any kind of, I guess, words of wisdom about where you were and kind of where you are now, and how you see things differently, I suppose?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when it comes to sort of success in the e-commerce space is direction, and understanding that if you do these things correctly, that success becomes sort of inevitable. And I think that's where a program such as this really makes such a big difference, because it gives you that framework to build off. And if you're doing these things and you just keep building and testing and putting things into action, that yeah, it does become inevitable that you will have success.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really, really good point, because what we often say, or what I often say and observe, is just the overwhelm of information out there. And there's too much information. We're in the information age, and that is a good thing. But the curse of that obviously is direction, as you say, knowing what to do, when to do it, because there's a lot about timing, of course. And then there's obviously the little nuances of each business as well. So yeah, to have that, I guess, guidance and helping hand is, yeah, absolutely just crucial at any stage of your business, to know specifically what to kind of to focus on. And you guys have, taken that and run with that. And as I say, I'm just so proud of you guys, and I know there's big things to come. So congrats on your, 10K month. And as I say, I know that there's bigger and better things to come, man. So thank you obviously for your time. And I appreciate you being in here and sharing your wisdom too, because now that you're at this stage, like, you're obviously able to share information with others, and that's the circle of business, right? And I know that you'll pass it, pay it forward as well, man. So well done again, dude. Really appreciate you. And obviously thanks for jumping on.
Awesome. Thanks, Will.
Cheers,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.